This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to the Bladen County Board of Commissioners meeting for December the 18th. And I'll ask Mr. Arthur Bullock if he'll lead us in prayer. Mr. Greg Martin, please stand.
Heavenly Father, we come to you once again. We want to thank you for all the blessings that you already bestowed upon us. Father, looking on this meeting so that we would do things that is pleasing in your sight. Father, we thank you again for what you've done. Continue to be with us. Bless all the citizens of Bladen County as well. Bless all the individuals that are here listening to our meeting tonight, Father. Father, again, we ask you to bless all the homes of the commissioners. Let us work together as one group, Father. Father, again, we thank you for all you've done. Continue to be with us down through the years. And Father, we thank you for all that you've done. Continue to be with the commissioners. All these we ask in thy name for Christ's sake. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Bullock. Entertain a motion to approve the consent items. Second. Mr. Cardell, second. Mr. Bullock, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Special recognition, Mr. Rodney Hester. Let's all go down front. I'll call on Mr. Martin for a few remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Hester, I want to thank you for a wonderful year last year, productive year, led the meetings with a professional decorum. Things seemed to go very well. You were extremely accessible with Maria and me when we needed things signed or whatever. Thank you for that as well. So just positive year.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Rodney, on behalf of the Bladen County Commission, I want to appreciate your job you did last year as chairman. So thank you for that. And in grateful appreciation to Rodney Hester for dedicated service to the people of Bladen County as chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, December 2022 to December 2023, given 18th day of December 2023, presented by the Bladen County Board of Commissioners. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. A couple of things. I want to thank the good Lord above for giving us a quiet year and a very productive year. I would pray. I prayed so much this past year. Please, no hurricanes, no big weather events, and so there was a lot of prayers that went out for that. I do want to thank Greg, Johnson Law Firm, Lisa, and Maria. I had a lot of questions throughout the year, and you guys answered them. Anything that I signed my signature hundreds of times, and y'all always made sure I knew what I was signing. So at any time, like I said, I had a question, y'all helped. And to the commissioners, thank y'all for giving me the wonderful opportunity that you did. I learned so much. It was just a great experience throughout the year. And like I said, all of you really helped me anyway. If I had a question for you guys, or if I need something for you guys, everybody stepped up and helped. So again, thank y'all.
Thank you. Individuals delegation wish to address the board. Ms. Marie McCoy.
Good afternoon. I was here on October of this year with some issues concerning parcels of property. And at any rate, the receipts and everything that I had was given to Ms. Davis at the board's request. And Miss Davis sent me a letter after the meeting. I think I got it about a couple of weeks after. Let's see if I can find that. I'd like to read it to you. And she also sent, along with the paperwork, her conclusion of her findings. The letter reads, Dear Mrs. McCoy, on September 5th, 2023, during the board meeting of County Commissioners meeting, you spoke directly to the board about different asset values during the year 1998 to 2023 on 3 parcels under the name of Ruby Alfred and others. After thorough research, I have enclosed a spreadsheet of the asset values for the years mentioned above. Also, I have shared the spreadsheet with the Board of Commissioners. I recommend that if you are dissatisfied with the current value, please appeal for the 2024 tax year in January of 2024. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Now, on one of those parcels, Mrs. Davis says she didn't find anything wrong. Well, I would like to read this to you. And this is on a parcel, one of the parcels. I didn't have time to do all 3 of them. And this is parcel number 0041731. It is 0.34 acres. Now, in 1998, I'm giving you the value in the year. In 1998, the value was $12,800. From 1998 to 2007, same value, $12,800. 2008, $18,300, an increase of $5,500 from $12,800. 2019, same, $18,300 with 2 receipts for the same year, different charges. 2014, same value, $18,300. 2016, the value drops to $16,400 through 2017. Now, 2019, the value is $16,400, and I have 2 receipts for 2019. One, $26,400, and the other one is for $2,750, and that's 2 receipts for that month, that year. Now, the original value of the property was $2,700. Now, in 2020, the property is again $2,750. 2 receipts again for 2022. Property value is still $2,500. 2 receipts, 2 paid receipts. 2023, there are 2 receipts, different charges. Now, those 2 receipts that I'm giving you, I gave you 3, 2019, 2022, 2023. 2 receipts for both of those years. Both are paid. Now, we go down to 2029 to 2013. Landfill and solid waste fees are charged for this parcel, and there has never been anybody living on this residence. And the other 2 parcels, which are 0004141 and 0041731. Those 2 parcels I did not complete, nor do I have the information. I have the information on that, did not have time to complete them. However, both of these are highly questionable and fluctuate greatly. I have requested an appeal, which I will definitely do that. And on the evaluation that Mrs. Davis gave you, I see totals on here that I've never seen before, no record found anywhere. So I'm having a strange problem with these figures and what's going on. I do remember asking Mrs. Davis one year on the same piece of property, the taxes went up from $24 to $339, and I personally came to this office and spoke to Mrs. Renee about that. And she blatantly told me that if I have to go back and change this, I'm going to charge you for things that you have not paid for. And she proceeded to do so by raising an extension, putting an extension on one of the homes. And there's some other information that she said. I don't have the letters, which is why I never presented it to you. But I have some really, it's kind of hard to deal with this and what is going on. And it was an employee who changed the price on that receipt. Mrs. Davis refused to change it, and it was changed by an employee. So that is pretty much my what I have to say here. And I do intend to appeal this because it's rather extreme, really extreme. I don't know if somebody can't count, don't know what their math is or anything like that. I don't know, but I wanted to bring this to the board to refute what Mrs. Renee gave you because I find many discrepancies in this.
Thank you, Ms. McCoy.
That's all I have to say.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Corey Lyons.
I would say good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Grateful to be present before you on this evening. I wanted to bring to your attention some issues that we're having on the south end of Bladen County. For the past few years, there have been some excessive flooding on the end where I live, also known as 410 South side of Bladenboro. It seems as though the water where we live has nowhere to go, and it settles on the yards. It messes up foundations. 2016, 2018, yesterday, my home was flooded again. We spent thousands of dollars trying to repair, trying to alleviate this issue, but every time it rains heavy, our yard floods. It looks like a lake, and again, the water has nowhere to go. And because we had to utilize our flood insurance, that caused our monthly payment to go up $500. Because again, the water has no place to go. So my question is, whose responsibility is it to clean the ditches out? Is it the homeowners or is it the state's responsibility? Because I have to tell y'all, I am tired of paying all this money to try to repair my house just to have the water sit on the yard with no place to go. I'm a taxpaying citizen. I feel like, okay, what are my taxes going to? If I have to pay taxes, repair my house, repair carpet, repair furniture, repair walls, we got issue with molding, because the water has no place to go, Now, I understand, Bladenboro town, there have been significant measures to ensure that the town does not flood. But my question is, what about those who don't stay inside the town? What about us who stay on the south side of Bladenboro?
I have a question. I'm not sure where you live.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you on the south side, 410.
Yes.
But a couple of years ago, I think Mr. Martin, when Mr. Dean Martin, when Dr. White, I'm sorry?
Morris.
Morris, right. When Dr. White called out, and she asked, are you in the same area where she lives? Yes. That same area?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I
Yes.
think they sent someone out to dredge those ditch, clean it, and has that not been done?
I don't know. It's been forever since somebody cleared out.
That's been cleaned out all the way across, from starting there at Glen Kane's land that Morris there, can't remember the name of it, and then down at Miss White went all the way through and back in there by Ross Lynn's and all that, that's been cleaned, but there's another one down there, somewhere around, Booker T Road.
Yes, we live right before you get to the Columbus County line on 410 on the left-hand side.
There's a branch that runs through there that has not been cleaned out, but Dean's well aware of it. And I don't know if we have any money right now.
Well, why did, I had it when we did it though. I thought it was gonna be on all of it, on that end.
No, it didn't get that last.
Did you get that last one?
That last string down. I can't.
So that's where you are?
You know what?
That's where I am, on the south end, right before you get to the Columbus County and our Bladen County line.
Henry called me, the senator called me today about seeing DOT go down there and clean out a ditch in front of a lady's house, and DOT went down there. Was that your house?
Yes.
Yeah. He went down there, my hand, or back.
The question I got, I remember us having this event several times about water standing there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was an issue that we was trying to get remedied where it was going across somebody's property that wouldn't let the water flow through to get off the property. That's still the issue?
No.
That don't exist anymore?
They went all the way across 410, 242, all the way across on the two strings. The one down there, Booker T Road, Booker Lynn Road.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that hasn't been cleaned out.
Okay, so it's not a problem. One time we were talking about getting access for it to go all the way across.
They got through
That's being clear.
They got through the first two branches there, but they hadn't got the third one yet.
So, Mr. Chairman, we need to contact the DOT
That DOT's not going there.
That's not road.
That's Dean Marsh is going to get some more money. It's a stream debris.
Oh, okay.
We had somebody working on that end not too long ago. We just approved that about, what, 3-4 months ago?
They live in front of one person's house specifically. I guess he came in, they just work right in front of one person's house.
It's pretty good about doing stuff like that, so.
2-0-6-5-1.
Yeah.
When he comes to us and he be asking for those grants that's been approved to clean out those, it doesn't consist of that part of the county?
Yeah, it's different parts. It's all over the county that we've been doing it.
So, but.
Post-hurricane.
Yeah, I know there's been some things he's been coming in asking us about it, but I thought we were remedying both 10 out and all.
There's one more down there.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, where we go from here?
We're gonna get Joe, We're gonna talk with Dean, if there's any money, or see how we can get down there and help them. I did DOT is down there today. I don't know what they found out. They were down there today. I don't know what they can do to help you, but they were down there today, I think.
Corey, is it the canals next to the roadway, or is it actually the stream like Charles Ray is saying? Is it actually the body of water backing up?
Well, actually, when it rains, our ditches, they haven't been cleaned in forever.
Well, see, that's the problem because they keep elevating. Like DOT does.
No, the streams won't take the water away down there.
Can't get to them.
Right.
That's where the problem is.
I'm not saying the ditches aren't a problem, but the stream won't take it away if they get it cleaned out.
Yeah, that's the same thing. They was having up on Amherst, the same thing. The streams would take the water, so they had to go there deep and clean them out.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Get the policy on get it resolved. Contact us, Mr. Martin, if he's not resolved.
Will do.
I studied it, and when we studied in 2020, he never got back. Mr. Martin.
Anyone else, Ms. Marie? Okay.
Yeah. That would be me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. Hi.
This will be brief. I just have a quick concern. I am, well, most of you know me, I recently retired from the Postal Service here. But prior to my retirement, I had applied for the Veteran Service Officer position because I'm really was adamant I wanted to go to a part-time schedule in the veterans or people that I really wanted to assist with, claims done or whatever. I was already certified as a Veteran Service Officer back in 2021, and I'm sorry, I get nervous. And so I applied for the position back in July, and I know Maria and Greg several times I went in to check on the position because I was looking when I'm going to get the interview, if I'll be able to take off from work and all this type of things. And I never got the interview. I never received a letter. I even called Ms. Jones personally once I found out that somewhere else was hired. Okay, will I get a letter saying the position was filled? It is pretty much December, and that was in July. I have not received a letter yet. So I still would like to get that letter, and I would like to know what the process is for, in case I wanted to apply for some other position in the county since I'm recently retired.
I know it's personnel, but I know we can't talk about personnel here.
We'll get back with your problem.
But I do have a question though, since you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
We have a personnel, committee in
Yes,
hiring
ma'am.
people? Okay.
I've actually been on the website several times. I don't know if I can say I've been in knocking on doors when Ms. Jones was in, because it was something I really felt. I'm the second in charge, the DAB here locally, so I help veterans. I've been helping veterans anyway, normally with just after hours, so I wanted to do it during the daytime, so I wouldn't have to be up all times of night doing it. So this something I was real adamant that I do feel like I was qualified for. I would like to receive an answer why I wasn't one of the top 3 chosen for an interview. I never got an interview as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Marie? Matters of interest, Commissioner?
Mr. Chairman, I have one thing. It appears we need to construct wheelchair entrances at the administrative building on Courthouse Drive as well as East King Street. If a person's in a wheelchair, there's no way they could get in there because the curb is there. And so I think we should have it wherein there'll be less problems for the citizens to enter the building there. I would suggest maybe we put down a pipe and then put concrete over the pipe so the water won't stand there. But it's difficult to enter with a wheelchair from both of those streets, East King and Courthouse Drive. Also, once you get up on the ramp, then at the door, it's a hindrance there as well. So we need to look at that and see can we make it easier for the citizens. Okay. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I have one issue.
Okay.
The citizens of Kelly still complain about stairs, those in College Creek and Kelly are asking. A couple of years ago, I brought it up, and Mr. McTill brought it up about a couple of months ago as well. And they're saying the ferry is closed now. The gentleman is not there.
I saw on the notice that were sent out today, it's closed, I think it's due January 3rd or January 7th.
Yeah.
January 7th.
But it's been.
It was open. I know. I went over it or used it week before last.
Right. And it was closed most of the time before then. They opened and closed it again. And they're saying it's a hindrance for them because they really need that instead of have to come all the way around to Elizabethtown or all the way to Highway 11. And so.
I think it said I'm ordering maintenance for staffing.
It was snapped.
A couple of reasons.
And then they were saying that the local folks are interested in even taking over that ferry because they want to make sure it's accessible for them.
They were looking for operators to contract.
They have two folks
contracted out, and they got very few.
Well, they have 2 in Kelly who are interested now. One's Kelly, one's Elizabethtown.
I was asking from that same situation when they called me over the years I've been here, and I've had that task when the bridge here went out that you had to go all the way around the whole county to try and get from one side of the county to the other. Has there ever been any kind of feasibility or accessibility for a break off to come into this thing before we get all the way down to College Creek, down to Highway 11? Has there ever been something put in place to make it accessible?
You mean for a bridge?
To put a bridge across. Yeah. You got one out here now that been taking out the camera saying, what 3 years to this for you? I'm just saying, if it's luck, we need to look at some kind of feasibility. I know you on the exit out here, but feasibility. To look at if something can be put in place. That I've always wondered why would you have something out there other than have to drive 20 miles to get from one end of the county to the other. And when this bridge went out, up here, when it went out to the storm, you had to drive all over the white in the world to get out of the place.
Okay, we'll find
It's
out.
like two bridges going into Wilmington, they're just not gonna, you know,
Close this.
it's just, I know.
Make a third.
I'm just saying, maybe this is that, you know.
Okay. Any other comments, Commissioner?
I don't quite understand, what are you gonna do? He's gonna check onto it?
We'll check on it. Yeah. Yes,
And then
ma'am.
let the citizens know?
Yeah. We don't have no answer for it today.
Mr. Speaks, I got one last thing.
Okay.
With the expungement clinic, Mr. Martin, Lord have mercy, you got me all spun around and you leave. But with the expungement clinic, I'm trying to get some guys from the state and from some other counties that want to see that we want to join into a corporate agreement with them to try and get this funding going. Guys in Cumberland County, Robeson County, and the lady in New Hanover, but it's got to be like a joint effort. I don't know how we could do it, but they're saying this funding clinic is something that the rural areas are literally needing it more so than the urban areas, and we're not being able to put it in place. So these guys, some of the urban areas are willing to come in and try and help us to put this funding in. And Ray sent a lady over to me. She's spectacular, but the thing is, the commissioners need to come together with a remedy and solution on how to get this to work here in the county.
Mr. Peterson, if I can put a tag on the tail there of what he's saying. Lady that he's speaking about is supposed to be seeing Mr. Johnson and his brother Wes to work with, and she knows the ins and outs and has been doing it for a while. But she may have already talked to Wes. I don't know, Alan. You may know.
I'm not sure.
But she's good and she's very quick and very knowledgeable. And but she would like to have a local attorney to work through. And I think she had reached out and probably setting up an appointment, I guess, with Wes. But she does it, like you said, in Brunswick County with some other attorneys. But she would like to work through an attorney here so she doesn't upset the Bladen County folks. She said the box of chocolates was sent to somebody one time about doing some work here, and the chocolate got sent back. I don't know what attorney that was, but she was quick to say that, and she didn't want to offend anybody.
Do you know this lady's name?
The lady?
Yeah.
It's Joe Emmons' daughter, Sarah. Can't think of her last name. Very nice.
Because you're looking for space to operate out of and certain things, you know what I'm saying? We got this big courthouse every time we turn around and vacate the space and certain things, but they may not want to be here.
Okay.
The space.
We'll got that on our radar.
And
We'll report back.
if you know of someone specifically that's really in a pinch to get, we're going to do about 10 across the state in 2024. We've already done a couple. Our lieutenant governor's daughter is a lawyer and she does them. It's her Saturday gift back to the communities. We just did one in Greensboro, going in Winston-Salem in February, but pretty much every month. So if you know of somebody that's really needing that, the expungement, give me their name and contact and we'll get up with them. That's not as good as doing it right here, but there'll be some connections where we can get them. There'll be at least one in Fayetteville, and it's free, completely free. So
I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to correlate.
Okay. Okay. Got it on the list of things to do. Anyone else? Information, Mr. Robert Hewitt.
Come tonight with the figures on the virtual server system. But during the course of the day, I've gathered up a number of different quotes that if you would like, I could present that as well. Is that okay?
Which one are you going to recommend to us? That's probably the one we need to.
I have, it's actually a number of things. The first thing.
Go ahead.
Okay. The server, the virtual server was, I come to you earlier about, and I've gotten the figures. We built out a a really robust machine that gives redundancy is the big key for this, and we get a geographic diversity, and that's going to end up being $175,000. However, this is also a prime candidate for the grant that we're going to be applying for. I'm not sure how much it would pay. We have, we have quoted out from Dell itself and other people, and this is about $250,000 system. And this company that we're working with, they're quoting it about 175. So and that's identical system. We went on Dell, created it, and then handed them that $250,000 quote, and they came back and said, we can get it to you for 175.
So is that reoccurring cost?
No. Well, it's every 5 years, it's going to be up for refresh. And it includes it's a virtual system, and the virtual license is a 5-year license. So every 5 years, it'll come back and haunt us.
Will it be $175,000 every 5 years?
It's probably going to be considerably more in January. In January, the licenses for the virtual side is going to jump. And then every year, the hardware itself is going to go up a little bit. So that's why we wanted to lock in 5 years.
And this coach?
And the reason I was asking about reoccurring costs, would they guarantee anything if something was to happen that we still have to figure the cost?
It includes maintenance and equipment. So if something goes bad, security, that's going to be on our side. And some of this other stuff I want to talk to you about.
So we need an equipment upgrade or something like that. They would do that upgrade, or would we have to do it?
No, it's the devices that will exist for the next 5 years. So any upgrade, if we decide that at some point we didn't get enough RAM or we didn't get enough hard drive, we would be responsible for upgrading it ourselves. But we built, like I said, this is a robust system for us.
So you know it's virtual and you have this hardware and capacity is great enough, you expect that it will cover?
Yes, we have.
Ample enough.
Yeah, we're looking at in the past we had about 2 or 3 terabytes, and I believe this system is like 9 terabytes, and then the RAM is, to be honest, once we get into it, we can get cheaper RAM and just add to it if we need to. But this is what has been explained to us as this is the device that we need for our needs. The other things that I'd like to just introduce quickly is I've presented to you guys that we were going to do 2-factor authentication. I now have the cost for that. It's $3 per user per month, and I'm expecting anywhere from 20 to 25 people, and some of those will be in DSS. So that will get reimbursed from the feds.
So everybody won't have the 2-factor, just 20 to 25 people?
I don't think it would. It doesn't have to be that way, but there are critical people like myself. I have a domain admin that I use to log in and do things. That particular admin, we definitely want anybody who has any administrative capabilities within their password. That user should need the 2-factor authentication, and we're going to request of them, go ahead and let's start doing it for 2-factor. That would have helped us tremendously. It absolutely would have made a big difference for us. Spartan Tech out of South Carolina, who we buy Sophos antivirus, has given us the updated quote to make sure that all of our servers, all of our users, and we've gotten the next tier, which is called XDR. It allows us more control over the antivirus. That's going up a little bit. It's a 3-year license, and it's going from around, I think the first time we bought it was 27, now we're at 35, and the next one will be 48, but it has the next tier above that. So that's something that we're looking forward to. The other quotes I have here is Sophos also has a managed detection and response tier, and it's a two-tiered system. And they have one called Essentials. I wouldn't really consider getting the complete, but the Essentials, it's a sticker shock, but it is a 3-year license for $100,000. Now, what that does, if we choose to go this route, it gives 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year monitoring of our system. They, in their presentation, they let me know that generally what they see is a detection is caught within 1 minute, that they see something happening within the first minute. 12 minutes after that, they've gone through the system and figured out what's going on. And with a total of 38 minutes, it was 28 or 38. Within that amount of time, they have stopped it and remediated our system. It also, if we get into this, the other advantage is if somebody else within their realm, any of their customers, if they get hit and they're looking at the same thing, they remediate everybody. So if somebody's being attacked and the method of attack is being done to somebody else, they harden us as well if we're on this plan.
When this first went off and everything started happening, Homeland Security came in. Mom, what's going on? They came in.
Homeland Security noticed something happening.
They learned everything. Do they have to go into any input from them as to what system you select, or you don't have to do that?
They've been quiet the whole time. They gave us the initial warning for us to do something about it, and then they've remained quiet after this.
So they don't get engaged with what security system protection you put in place.
No, not in this case. No, I'm not going to say they don't ever do that, but no, not in this case. So that's something that, you know.
So what are you asking for? Are you asking for all this?
Ultimately, yeah, I'd like to see as much as I could get. I mean, the big ticket is to get we've come back to ask for the money for the server tonight, and the other stuff we can talk about it, you know, in the next meeting if you want to, or if you're not interested, you know.
175.
For the server. Yes, sir.
And then you want the people who check in. You need those 25 people.
Talking about $365,000.
It's about 300,000.
What you going to? What about the login? That's 90,000. That's what I was saying.
Well, I didn't add that one up. This is about. Well, I don't know how many people are going to be out of the social service.
20 to 25, so I figured 25.
I think about 6 to 8 are going to be out of the DSS.
But yeah, but I mean, we still got to pay it up front. I figured $90,000 for it. Am I wrong?
You're saying $3 a month.
$3 a month per year.
No, 40.
That's $720.
Yeah.
A year.
Per person.
1,200 to get one.
No, it's 25.
So I figured I come up $900. So I'm just trying to understand what you're asking for.
Well, tonight what I'm asking for is the 175 for the virtual server.
That's to save money prior to January, correct?
Correct. That's going to jump.
Well, you mean something about grant?
And the hardware side of it, I don't know about the software side, but the hardware side, they're telling me if we get this grant, and they're very optimistic about us getting this grant, that some of this will be paid for as well.
And I heard the same thing, but we don't have that.
Yeah.
So the most critical piece of it tonight for the first year
is the virtual server. Yes, sir.
Rest of
that's critical for me to move forward.
I assume we need other pieces to come in place.
The Duo, I'm probably going to do that within my budget. That's the 2-factor authentication, and the initial Sophos has been coming out of my budget anyway. So those things are going to get paid. the next big ticket item is going to be the managed detection and response, the MDR side. That's the 100,000 over a period of 3 years.
We can do that during the budget time. We can do that during the budget year. Mr. Bellis?
Yes, we could.
Are most counties doing that now, Robin? Have you checked around with other counties to see, is that like a status quo now as far as the management detection service?
A lot of them, I don't know, percentage wise, but I do hear from these guys that a lot of them are using this type of system.
Do we have I guess, what choice do we have? I mean, we have to prevent it, and we have to move forward. So my question is, can we vote on it tonight?
Well, yeah, we're going to vote one way or the other. So, anybody else say anything? So, if you're asked for $275,000, including the $100,000 for the essential management. So, what I have to say to this board is, we're just getting our systems back up, and why you want to wait till January to do it if you got to have it and you need it now? We need to do the essentials and the server.
That's what he was saying. He wanted to do it before January.
Right.
He didn't want all of it. He didn't want all of it. I'm just saying, let's do it all.
Are you looking for a motion? You ready to check? I'll take it.
Wait a minute. Make sure I'm right.
We didn't. This is the first time you've heard the details of this, so we'd like to get that. We weren't trying to overwhelm you back forward.
We can vote on the details. So I think we need to do the server and the essential. I would make that.
I'll say.
Motion by Mr. McGill, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any more discussion?
How much was the total amount?
$275.
Oh, yeah. These funds will come out of fund balance? Yeah. Out of fund balance.
Mr. Martin, correct me if I'm wrong, we would be looked favorably, if I recall, Tier 1 counties to maybe reach the max.
And have
I think everybody needs to know that, yeah.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Chairman, can I just ask one more question? I'm the youngest commissioner, but I'm the most old-fashioned commissioner. There's some just common sense things. Is there any way we can remedy? I mean, literally, our employees are cold, as I understand, because the heat can't be controlled on the wall because of everything being, hacked. That just blows my mind. And we're having to go out and literally buy space heaters and plug them in. I mean, is there not some way we can learn from this and figure out some protocol to where we aren't so controlled by somebody that hacks us?
In terms of the network, I don't want to detail you guys to death, but we build layers of the IP addresses. They're called subnets. And one of the things that we had been talking about during the, while I was over in the EOC with these guys, is to start layering those subnets. And for example, it was brought up about the HVAC system, that it could be sitting on its own subnet, and that would prevent it from overflowing into other subnets. And if something happened to it, it wouldn't overflow, and the vice versa. We wouldn't affect them if it infected like laptops and stuff like that. That's one of the ways we're going to start protecting. I think the big issue with the HVAC was that it was sitting on an old machine, and we were not comfortable with putting old computers back into the system. And I could be wrong on that one, but I know that was a big discussion about we can't have Windows.
This is not on the agenda. We can talk about it, but we got it on a list of things. We'll bring it back. But I see Coggill's got his hand raised on it. It's not on the agenda. It's not on the agenda. It's on the agenda. We'll come back. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Solid waste, Mr. Gill.
Mr. Chairman.
Sir.
Item 5, did we skip that?
Oh, do we?
Yeah, by accident.
What's that? What's item 5? No, we did that.
Update regarding the innovative reading project. Did we go through all that? Did we do that?
Which one are you talking about? 5 is commissioner.
Ain't I got it wrong?
I'm ready to try to.
You got A and B. You got 5, A and B.
Mine don't have that.
We want to talk about it.
I got an old one. With the CFCI.
I have A and B.
CFTI.
CFCI, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I was speaking to that. I thought that was the time to mention it.
I got the wrong copy. Thank you.
Go ahead, guys.
So, the innovative readiness training, we met, and Mr. McGill came and Greg was there. What was it?
Tomorrow will be 2 weeks.
Tomorrow will be 2 weeks. And they're very interested in doing the Kelly Dike. We had 3 military branches here. We had representatives from Tillis, Browser, and,
Bud was on the phone.
Bud was on the phone at the beginning of it. Had the female lady representative. Who else was here?
The Jordan Rink from Emergency Management, his FEMA working in Emergency Management, and the lady with the Rural Partners Network.
Yeah. I put her FEMA.
Okay.
She FEMA. So this was the best meeting, and it sounded like it really had a lot of substance in it, and they really want to do this thing if they can get their partners to do it. So this is the best news we've had in 5 years, and that don't mean they're gonna do it, but it's just the best news. We had a room full of people almost, and it was a very good meeting, and they assured us that they really wanted to do this project.
And this is the Marines, particularly.
Marines.
We also had Air Force.
And the Army.
And the Army, yeah. So,
Yeah, but the Navy was here.
Yeah.
But what do you mean? I mean, you had a great meeting, but.
We have to wait.
So they are gonna move forward and try to look for it.
The RRT, the application, you fill out the application, and then you find sponsors of the RRT, and then they'll go in there and they'll get all these people, and like I said, we had 3 branches here, and they'll decide if they can do it, and then they'll go in there to the RRT and say, yes, we're gonna do it, or no, we're not gonna do it. So either accept it or decline it, but we gotta wait for them to accept it or decline it. But this was the best news we've had since we've been meeting for 5 years.
We showed them how we can provide housing at the training center. I mean, a lot of positives that the county has to offer to help make their decision easier.
You got anything to add?
I was gonna say that they were gonna recommend to their superiors that they move forward with it. So at this point, it's been their.
No, not core.
Core is completely out.
Till it's called. Back up to date.
I mean, when was the last time that it was reworked? Core is damn. Died.
The 62. I think 65 was something in there.
I don't know what it says. Okay.
It was actually 62 as it was after the 1945 flood, so it took 17 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Martin, GFCI
Yes, I
matters?
just wanted to follow up with you all after, remember our last meeting, that topic was discussed in detail. There was a meeting held at H&D Supermarket in White Lake last week. Mr. McGill was there, and a representative from the Department of Insurance was there to explain the process. He clearly communicated that the county is required, all counties and all municipalities in North Carolina are required to follow the state building code. And but he while he was not able to provide the answer that they wanted to hear that day, he did help them to understand that his purpose was to try to help them to communicate with the proper authority that could, and that apparently is a committee or a board that meets in January. He went out and got his laptop, helped to complete the necessary application or whatever that they needed to complete, and to have that submitted. So hopefully it'll be heard by the proper board or committee at some time in the early part of the.
Yeah, got anything to add to that, Mr. McGill?
I mean, I don't, but they're gonna get a lot of resolution. It's just some kind of anomaly that probably half the campgrounds are not having problems and half are, and so, yeah, a lot of bureaucracy.
Yeah, and so, I told them we'd start on that Tuesday morning, and we did. And I called a lot of counties, and a lot of counties were doing it. They weren't requiring it. But the inspector, or whoever it was I got down here, he said that if they get caught, they're in trouble. And that's the reason we invited him down here, so he can meet with electricians and the people at the lake. so he could explain it to them in person.
And we do not have the jurisdiction or authority to just exempt. We do not have that. So.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bullock, for bringing that back. I'm sorry. Solid waste, Mr. Gill.
Yes, sir. You have before you, I think, some information regarding some quotations we took or solicited for regarding paving the Ward's solid waste site over here on 53. And this is just for information purposes, I think, tonight. As your information should read, Barnhill Contracting quoted us $187,554 to pave that site. Smith Brothers quoted $146,505, and Highland Paving quoted $111,321. So high bid was Barnhill, Smith Brothers was second, and Highland Paving was the lowest bid. What they were quoting on is some quantities that we generated as far back as 2020 relating to elevating that site and then paving the driveways and the area in between the compactors and all the way back to the swap shop building. And each contractor was given an invitation to bid along with a map showing the layout for the paving. It equates to about 25,000 square feet of paving, which in their world becomes 333 tons of asphalt, 8 inches of ABC stone was included there, plus some fill. Here's the problem with the site. The site itself is elevationally, geographically lower than the property surrounding it. So it becomes a basin. We've worked in the past, spent some dollars there building up the center of the site, which helps divert that water so it's not so muddy and wet. But these are very, very high figures, in my opinion, on paving. I'll reference back to when we did our resurfacing project here just a couple of years ago. We included that in there to get a quote on doing that work. It was $160,000 at that time by the contractor who was the low bid for the rest of this work. So that same contractor is now at $187,000, and then there's 2 others below that. It's not based on the availability to work. It's not a real competitive market out there right now for paving. These contractors are busy. They've got a lot going on. So your prices really won't reflect your best scenario if we were to wait, if we can wait. And the economy turns around a little bit, we may see some prices come down. I can't predict that. It may continue to climb and go up another 2 years. But the price of petroleum dictates the liquid asphalt price. And in this case, one was quoting asphalt at $170 a ton, another was quoting it at $173 a ton, and then the low bidder was quoting it at $135 a ton. So same specification, same type of material, same thickness of paving, same quantity of tonnage, but there's your variation just in the liquid asphalt prices that are included. Stone's the same way. Stone for the base material there ranges from $40 a ton, $35 a ton with one of those, and then $52 a ton with another. So right now, if you have to buy stone or asphalt, it's not a really competitive time to do that.
Mr. Brill.
The only problem I have with that is this. It's like you said when we discussed this years ago. We have been selling it. We've been selling it. And we told them to this point. The last excuse we pretty well used was, we're still waiting on the person that got the contract. And they were backed up. I don't want to be caught in the middle of a lie.
Right.
Because we promised and we voted, and it was on the books to be done. We waited, and now it's cost another $27,000 to go with the low bid. I feel we need to do the obligation of what we told the people. Because it looks like to me we've misled, because we told them what we were waiting on, and it was approved. That's my.
We voted and approved it.
The intent hasn't been to mislead. The money was budgeted. A certain amount was budgeted. I don't remember if that was 60 or what was that?
60.
60. The bid came in at 160.
Yeah.
that was the dilemma, and we all discussed it, I guess, at that time, but.
Was that only for that site, or it was at multiple sites?
It was included with the paving for the rest of the buildings that we
Remember when we
paved.
paid out everything
We
else
paved
off at the
DSS,
park?
paved Health Department, we resurfaced several properties here in town, and we included that one in there, but it came in $100,000 over
That's one
estimate.
right here, boards.
Yeah.
So when we told them we budgeted the money, we did, but we didn't know the quote was gonna come in so much higher.
But now it's down.
Now,
Quite a bit.
compared to then,
And
that's correct.
petroleum is going down, at least for a little while. Okay, so what are we waiting on? We think it's still too much?
What is
It's only
your,
about $40,000 more,
what?
$50,000 more.
What is your recommendation?
Well, if we do this, and I'm gonna leave it at the board's decision. If we do this, we've still got to put money in our solid waste budget to cover this, and it'll have to come then out of our capital reserve in solid waste. Because that money is not in that budget this year to cover that cost.
So how
It's
much?
in there at $111,000, it's not in there.
How much do we have any of it?
Not
$60,000,
for this
$100,000?
paving project, not this year.
Yeah, I got a problem with that. That's what we told the people.
So no.
But 2 years ago, we had put 60,000 there to cover it, but it came in at 160. So the intent is not to mislead anybody. It was just so expensive at that time, it got pulled for.
That wasn't an excuse with you. The developer, the person doing the work was that backed up. That kept being the answer because I kept being asked, and I also kept confirming with Mr. Martin. And I brought it up several times in the meetings.
Sure. The longer we put this off, is the site deteriorating? Is it gonna become more expensive to grade it and get it ready to pave?
What we're having to do right now is continue to add stone to the site, keep filling the holes and keep grading it and try to keep it crowned so that center, the drive in and the center that you move around on stays elevated so it's not flooding. That pushes that water to the outlying areas which are under the containers and towards the fences. So far as deteriorating, if we continue to add stone and keep building up, that's helping us in our cost of materials for the job. But at the same time, it is a maintenance issue to keep that site passable in the wettest time. Right now, after the rains we got yesterday, that site's wet.
These last years come in.
These were just taken, I put them out right before I left for surgery and took them Monday the 27th of November. And I was able to actually open when I came back on December the 4th.
This is another fund balance issue.
Solid waste.
For how much, which was the lowest bid was
The
on that?
lowest bid was 111,321.
111.
I think we need to wait another month.
That come out.
Yeah, it's coming down.
But, and if they don't go down, then what we gonna do? Well, are we gonna wait again and wait? Or are we going to go ahead and take the highest one?
I see, I make a motion that we delay this activity for 90 days, reviewing the prices of petroleum. That's the motion I make.
Rebid it.
Yeah, and then review
Now,
it
see,
in 90 days.
You just want to,
Mr.
Well,
Cardell
that's
got a
got-
motion on the floor. Is there a second? I'll second. Mr. Cameron, second. Any discussion?
yeah, I have one question. Now that you have public information out there for somebody to rebid, but then go back and look at, I think it's kind of unethical when you decide to put the public information out there, private information to the public, now ask them to rebid for somebody to say, okay, well, I'll go with it. Not the way you're supposed to do it. I don't think you're supposed to do it that with the federal law.
When
When it come in at 160, was it, just was turned down then?
It was turned down.
I think we done it before.
We turn it down then.
What we did then is we got quotes from several other contractors. And that was
The gym paving project, who done that?
done by Barnhill. Barnhill.
Have you seen the problem that's up here? My God, it's like walking through the river. That was 2 weeks after. Yeah, like, that's terrible.
There's a grade problem with that site. The driveway at the street's literally almost as high as what's right in front of those dumpsters. It's very minimal grade on that site. And if we build it up anymore, we're going to trap water up under the building. So
I just want to know why it's so bad.
it is bad because it's a very flat site. And to get that water to move to the street, we put as minimal fall as we could from the dumpster out to the street. But we can't elevate it so high because of trapping water underneath the building, under the crawl space of that building.
I just want to know.
It's not ideal, no, sir.
Did they pay their first bay?
It did.
It didn't grade it right.
Why is there a hole in there?
There's a hole right there.
It didn't grade it right.
Turn it into
It's where the truck pulls in to empty the dumpsters, and that area right in front of there gets more traffic and heavier weight.
Chairman, just before we vote, just one question. Seconded the motion based on my gut instinct to what you may be the most comfortable with.
Right.
Are you okay? You're the one that's got to deal with the fallout of our decision as much as anybody.
Yes, sir. And you will have to deal with it because you're going to.
You're going to have to be the one out there filling holes for the next 90 days.
Yes.
We're not.
Well, we can
Yes, we're not putting you in a hardship.
If there's holes right now, we can get stone hauled in and do some more grade work to try to keep the site in as best condition we can. The motion to delay for 90 days, if we predict petroleum is falling, I think is a good thing to do. And your question about ethics, anytime we open bids in a public forum, that information is available to anybody. To say that we're going to put it back out for bid and see if one of these guys wants to, it gives them the opportunity to look at each other. But that is the world of competitive bidding also.
We do a second time, and we're gonna do the third and fourth, so I think.
All of them get opportunity.
All of them get opportunity.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Britt.
I go back to the confirmed commitment that we have given these people. These people are sitting here seeing where we pay county park, we use dollar fund. Granted, that's for the youth, the grandparents, parents, and all to go to the county park. I have no problem with that. But that information has been brought to me. This was discussed prior to ever doing any of that. We did it with ARPA funds. If we exceed the budget that was already put in for this project that was approved, and we've been waiting on the paper. If we are shortfall, and I don't know if this pertains, Mr. Martin, you would know that answer. If this would fall under the balance of the shortfall of our ARPA funds that we now have back available. And if it does, my recommendation, I'll make the motion in a few minutes, because I don't want people to think I've lied to them, because I've accepted I have lied to them based on what I've heard tonight. And I want to clarify that. But we owe it to the people, and they deserve it. And after they get through that motion would be my motion. And because I feel like we've misled the people, and I have to keep going back and giving them answers.
The motion I made,
Mr. Scott,
the motion I made,
Mr. Martin.
well, the motion I made was to delay the project for 90 days, come back with a new bid to implement the project, if you want to add that to it. This implemented in 90 days, wherever it's at, that's what we'll do. After the rebid in 90 days. Put that as far as the motion. Can you second that, Cam?
I think I already did.
Yeah. We just do it 90 days. 90 days is.
All right, any other new discussion? Motion is to delay it for 90 days and pay it. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Pay it in 90 days.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Gill.
Can I ask a question before you go? We talk about the dumpster. When they take them, they take those long tanks or compactors, what are they called? Right. Do they clean them at all? Because they have magnets and bugs and stuff. So they do when they bring it, before they bring them back?
Yeah. They don't every time if it's not real dirty, and right now is a good season right now for it not to be real dirty because it's cold. And the summer months, we try to wash them out before they return. But yes, ma'am.
Because we had an issue on the site with
Let me say something to this board of commissioners. If you want to discuss something, get it on the agenda, or there's two places for commissioners to discuss things. We don't need to be bringing everything up here and looking for answers when they're not prepared. So if you would please, if you want to talk about something, we got two places to talk about it, or we'll make a list like we've done tonight, and we'll get back with you.
You gonna hang around, kid? You gonna be at the end?
You'll hang around there. We're about there.
I just didn't want you.
I'll bring it up.
All right. Thank y'all. Thank you. Advisory Board of Blaine Community College Trustee one.
With the recommendation of Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ashley Marlowe. Think he'd be a good fit due to working with the college, there's a good nursing program out there, and that would speak well for the hospital.
Second. Motion by Mr. Britt to nominate Ms. Ashley Marlowe and second by Mr. Hester. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Division of Aging.
Motion to reappoint.
Motion to reappoint by Mr. Hester, second by Mr. McGill. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Economic Development.
Reappoint.
Reappoint Mr. Britt, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Health and Human Service Agency.
Reappoint.
Reappoint by Mr. Britt, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Library Board. Motion to reappoint Mr. Hester, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Lisbon Fire Service District Advisory Committee. Reappoint. Reappoint by Mr. Bullock, second by Mr. McGill. Any discussion? Personnel Advisory, was that right?
Motion.
On that one. It's a question on that. I know.
No, sir. The motion's been made and seconded, and it's been approved.
For personnel?
No, we have personnel. That's the next one.
Okay.
Personnel.
We didn't vote on him. We need to vote on him.
All in favor of Lisbon, say yeah.
Aye.
All opposed? Personnel Advisory Board, Mr. Cardell?
I'd say, I'd look at that board, and the only question I had was, do we need to reconstruct that? Because there's only 2 members on that board, am I correct?
Three.
Yes, sir.
I'm just trying, I know we want to enlarge that
Well,
one.
Paul said he would accept, and if you want to, let's talk about it, we can do that later today.
Okay, yeah, I want to look at
Motion by Mr. Hester, second by Mr. McGill. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll put that on the list, thank you.
Okay. So do that.
Oh, Mr. Martin, counter review.
Thank you. I'll begin with the remainder of December and point out that tomorrow evening at 6 p.m., the Elizabeth White Lake Area Chamber has an after-hours event at Camp Clearwater. In pastry and cider. Offices will be closed next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday during the Christmas holiday. Offices are also closed on Monday, January 1st for the New Year's Day holiday. There will be a prayer service here on the 2nd at 8 a.m. The 14th at 6:30. On Monday the 8th at 5 p.m. the Health and Services Advisory Committee meets. On Tuesday the 9th at 2 p.m. there's a Substance Misuse Task Force meeting in the Health Department. County offices are closed on Monday the 15th in observance of Martin Luther King birthday holiday. And also that day at 11 a.m. the 35th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Parade will be held here. On Tuesday the 16th, the board meets at 6:30, and then Thursday the 18th at 7 p.m. So, permanent home meeting that will take place at the Elizabeth. If there are no questions about the calendar, moving on to the next items. Just as a follow-up to the discussion last week, you don't have any proposed changes to any of the 3 policies. The rules of procedure for the board, the code of ethics for the board, and the conflict of interest policy.
I make a motion about
A, B, C?
B, C, and D.
B, C, and D. B, C, D. You're right. Mr. McGill done got it. Motion by Mr. Cogdell, second by Mr. McGill. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Is there any individuals wishing to address the board now? Is there any matter of interest to commissioners now?
Yes, I apologize, Mr. Chair. But Mr. Kent did, answer my question about those containers. But some of the citizens called about 2 sites about bugs and magnets, and they were nasty. So he did tell me that during the summer, they do clean them. And so I want them to hear that, yes, they do clean them, and I will ask them to contact him in the future if they have an issue. Thank you. I do apologize.
Anybody else, Mr. Chairman?
Two things. One, last week, First Baptist Bladenburg did a really, really nice event, fed scores of police and EMTs and the commissioners, anybody was there, and just, if we could send them something acknowledging that they really, cook was a little bit rough, but other than that, it was a good event. And the second thing is for Mr. Kiff. I know, we've had shortages of drivers and trucks and things like that, so we get a lot of calls, I'm sure we all do, from people that go to the dump stations, and they say, we don't have room, you're gonna have to take it, to town, which is certainly time to time that's gonna happen. I guess the issue is you've got folks that are struggling, and they can dump it for free. If they gotta go to town, they're going to pay for it. And it's really not their fault, if that makes sense.
Shouldn't have to pay for it if it's common household.
I mean, it's not common household. Brown goods, white goods, things of that nature. So we could do a voucher. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we'll follow up on.
I think it's happening a lot.
I've got that on my list
I thought you could dump it, Browns and stuff at the.
I thought so too.
That's not a correct perception, I don't.
No, that's.
Well, I actually called and asked, I said, so, folks are, and if they bring it, they're going to have to weigh in, dump it, weigh back out. They don't have to do that if they go to one of the dump sites. So.
Brandon will weigh them in, but if it's common brown goods from household, unless it's commercial,
Correct.
it should not be charged.
I've never been
We got that.
The point in weighing them is this, keeping track of everything we move out, so that our weights balance what's being received from the plant. And I know we need to go on. But the point there is this, I have to have some weight for what's coming in, so we know what's loaded and going out, so our weights compare to what we're being charged for on the other end. Yes, they'll be asked to weigh in, but if it goes to a site, it's weighed in when our trucks bring it in anyway. So that's the point of weighing them in. Doesn't mean they get a charge. If it's commercial now or building demolition, there will be a charge.
Yeah, that's probably some of the things if somebody takes 7 2x4s, they cleaned out a building, is that commercial or is it not? So I guess that's where the issues are. Thank you.
Anyone got anything else? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to go in closed session in accordance with NCGS 147-318-11 for personnel. Second, motion by Mr. McGill, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? Yeah. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Take 5 minutes.
This conference will now be recorded.